Hi, I'm Julie from Fabric Garden Quilt Shop in Sacramento, and I'm here with installment 5 of our Border Creek Station Mystery Quilt. This month you get to do a lot more sewing, but just a little bit of cutting. So the first thing you're going to do is pull out your pattern for installment 5, and you need to make these units here. One that looks like this with the dark square in the corner, and the other one that looks like this with a dark square down here. So you're making 50 that go this way and 50 that go this way. So you're going to take your fabrics out of your baggies B, D, and G. So just take a look at your diagram in your pattern and lay them out accordingly, just to make things less likely to make a mistake. I would just do all your 50 left units and then do your 50 right units. The other thing I want to point out, when I'm sewing together blocks like this, I tend to sew in a horizontal row. But look at the directions. They ask you to sew in a vertical row and to press the seams accordingly. So make sure you do that, because when you get to this couple more steps down the road, your seams will be nesting nicely that way. So once those are all made, again, you're going to have 50 and 50. You're going to put those together and tidy them away into baggie D. For the next step, you're going to pull out your fabrics from baggie C and baggie E. So these are C and this is E. And you need to sew those together. So when I'm doing something like this, where I have got a point here that I want to make sure that I don't cut off, I am going to put these together, and when I definitely will pin, I'm going to stab a pin right through the center and make sure it comes up in the seam, and I will pin all the way across like that, all the way across, and then I'm going to stitch it. And when I stitch it, I will stitch with this side up, because I want to make sure, I know it's hard to see on the video, because of the color of the thread, but I want to make sure that my seam line either goes through that X that these two stitches made, or just a hair above, because I want to make sure that I don't cut off my point here. So once you do that, you're going to end up with 100 pieces that look like this. And again, I'm only referencing the queen. So if you're making the twin, you obviously need to make less. But for the queen, you're going to make 100 that look like this. If you're done sewing for the day, then put all 100 back into baggie C and take a rest. But if you're feeling up to it and you want to continue on, only put 50 in the baggie C, because you need the other 50 to make a unit that looks like this. So this is part 3. You're going to take 50 of these units and all of your 25 units from baggie A, and you're going to stitch those together, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put them together like this. You're going to make sure that your points and your seam lines line up, and again, I'm going to stitch from this side and make sure that my stitches go just a hair above that where those seams cross, so that I'm not cutting off my points. When those are done, you're going to have 25 pieces that look like this, and you're going to put those away and put them into baggie A. Now the next step is the only cutting you have to do this month. You will have in your kit, you have fabric, this pretty tan fabric with the kind of the white ferns on it. You need to cut, again for the queen size, you need to cut 2 pieces that are 15.5 inches. And I went ahead and I cut mine. And you're cutting these so that the 15.5 inches is this way by length of grain, or length of fabric, width of fabric, excuse me. Once that is cut to 15.5 inches, you're going to turn it this way. I would line up my salvages, make sure that everything is nice and straight, and this piece obviously needs to be ironed, but we're going to iron it and and then I'm going to cut the salvages off, and then I'm going to cut 2-inch strips. So for the queen size, I need 40 2-inch by 15.5 inch strips. Once those are done, you can put them away, and those go into baggie E. And you are done for this month. Just refer to the evidence room inventory here. You should have in baggie A, you're going to have 25 pieces, and in baggie B is now empty, so you can use that for something else. Baggie C just has 50 pieces in it. Baggie D will have 50 left units, 50 right units. Baggie E has your 2-inch strips. Baggie F still has 16 2-inch squares, and baggie G is empty. And you're done until next month. So thank you very much. I'll see you then.